Hello, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David. I still remain your boy David. You know what I'm saying? And today we'll be yeah, it's kind of like late right now, but I know that I have a very busy week, so I'll be having a couple of busy weeks right now. Um, yeah, so let me just use this to but I'll do series of videos that will help you on what I'm about to talk about right now. So today I'll be dealing with the Asvab and the PiCAT. You know what they call the PiCAT? I'll be dealing with both together. So those of you who are about to take PiCAT and those of you about to take Asvab, you just tend to know what it's all about. And stick with me on this video till the very end. Click the subscribe button and click the like button so this video can reach a larger audience as possible, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who actually wants to know more about this particular topic that we're about to discuss right now. So without I don't really do the intros and stuff like that, so let's get straight into the video proper. So today I want to talk about the PiCAT and the Asvab, how to pass both of them if you're given any. So let me start with the PiCAT. The PiCAT is a branch of the Asvab. So what do I mean by the branch? It's still the same thing as the Asvab, but the difference is if you're taking the exam at a recruiting office, like when you decide to join the military and you call and they try to get to know where you live. They will refer you to the closest recruiting office around your area, so you don't have to travel kilometers or so many miles in order to get to MEPS. You know what I'm saying? So if you're taking your exam at the you're taking your exam at the recruiting office that you will refer to by your recruiter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That is gonna be the PICAT. So the PiCAT can be done at your recruiting office. So um, after you're done with your PiCAT, then you can move to MEPS to do the verification test, which is the ASVAB. All right. So even if you do your PiCAT, you still need to go to MEPS to verify your score, because they want to be sure that you didn't cheat. You know, even though although it's kind of like funny because you're doing it at the recruiting office, so how you supposed to cheat when there are a lot of you know what I'm saying, like a lot of what I call it, officers around. So how you supposed to cheat? So but because you're put in the room by yourself and you're doing the taking the exam, so they kind of want to be sure that you didn't cheat. So no matter how many officers were around you while you were doing your exam, you still need to go to MEPS to verify that score. But if you're taking your exams at MEPS, that's called the ASVAB. So if you're taking your exams at the recruiting office, we call it the PICAT. You get what I'm saying? So PICAT is done at another at every other place other than MEPS. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what it is. So when you're doing it at MEPS, it's called the ASVAB. You know what I'm saying? So it's not bad. So what you do is prepare to pass this exam. So I'm just trying to let you know the difference, and then I'll go straight into the major things that I wanted to share in this video. So just stick with me to the very end. So the ASVAB and the PiCAT are like the same, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? They're the same. So it's just where you do these things that gives it a different name. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I took my own PiCAT, I thought I was going to be taking my ASVAB. So when they told me it was PiCAT, I was like, oh, wait a minute, what is the PiCAT for? Like, oh yeah, you got to take PiCAT over here, but after you're done, you got to move straight to MEPS to do scores verification. So that means no matter what you score, once you're qualified, once you get over a certain score, then you move straight to MEPS to do your verification, your score verification test, which is ASVAB. So those of you who have done your PiCAT and waiting to go to MEPS to take your ASVAB, so I'm going to share this little thing here. Don't get it wrong. The recruiter going to tell you they're going to take 3 questions from each section that you've answered, and then they're going to give it to you. True, but not totally true. They'll take two or three or four questions from each section you've answered. And by the way, there are 11, 10 sections in PiCAT. You know what I'm saying? So after answering all of that, they will take three or four questions depending on some areas, and they'll put it together to form the part one, the part one of your verification test when you get to MEPS. After that, you're gonna go to part two, part three, part four. It's like that. A lot is a lot. So just get yourself prepared. Don't think it's just gonna be three questions and then you answer all of them things and then boom, you're done. No, you're gonna answer a whole new part one, part two, part just exactly the way you did your PiCat with the different um topics, yeah, different subjects, and you know what I'm saying. That's how it's gonna be. But when you get to MEPS, it's still gonna be the same, but pattern in different sections as well. So you're gonna be answering a lot of questions across, like you have never done, like you've not done nothing before. But the good thing is the part one is gonna be very very easy, not very easy because it's gonna comprise of all the questions of the most questions mixed up questions from from the PiCat you already answered. That's why I don't advise people to stay back too long before they go take their before they go verify their scores at MEPS, because when you take too long before you go verify your scores at MEPS, you probably would have forgotten all the things you did when took your PiCat, and then you have to start all over again to start solving, and that's going to take you a longer time. And they give you about 40 questions. No, they give you 30 questions for 45 minutes. You get what I'm saying? So some could be word knowledge, some could be math problem, some could be you know what I'm saying, like comprehension, like knowledge. You get what I'm saying? So you just gotta be ready. So for those of you who probably this is your first time coming across this kind of video, I'm trying to make sure that this video is like, I don't like talking too much about one subject. So those of you like who are still like thinking about going to join the military, you might as you find this video very very interesting. So if you're somebody who has been thinking about joining the military and you've been thinking of how to go about it, like this video too is also for you. So just make sure that you sit back, make some research on what branch of the military you would like to go into. I think there are about different, I think about nine, five or six, my bad, like that. You have the Coast Guard, you have the Army, you have the Navy, you have the Marine, and so on, like that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, as you can see on my t-shirt right here, you can see that the branch in which I am part of, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that only people from this branch do the ASVAB. It's all from all military branches. We all take the PiCAT and the ASVAB, or we take PiCAT and do the ASVAB, which is the verification test they're going to tell you anyways. So that that is it. So let's now move to the major thing that I hope I've been able to, like, make you understand the difference between PiCAT and ASVAB and what it comprise, what it truly mean, and that after you're done with your PiCAT, you got to go to MEPS to verify your scores, which is like taking the exams all over again, but this time a few of them will be something you already did in your PiCAT, and then the rest will be things something totally new. You feel me? But I'm going to be diving into those things in the next video because it's a lot. If I want to sit and talk about it, probably take like 2 hours. So how do I pass my ASVAB or my PiCAT? Now, before you even attempt to do any of those things, when you go straight to your recruiting office, they're going to take a lot of your identification, means of IDs, right? Your IDs, anyways. Let me put it that way. They're going to take a lot of your IDs, social security, birth certificate, and da 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 da. They're going to take all of that. I don't want to go in through all those documents. That should be a different video entirely. So after that, you're going to do what they call the practice test. The practice test, please, if nobody even asks you, ask your recruiter, like, please, can I take the practice test? The practice test does not determine your score. It doesn't matter what you score in your practice test. It's not part of your main score. You don't have to go verify that. The practice test is just to give you an idea of what ASVAB should be all about. Now, I will share my own personal experience. When I got to my recruiter's office and he told me, okay, you got to take the practice test. I took the practice test, and um I scored 66 in my practice test. But look, my aim was not just because the practices is really short. It's like four questions from each category. You know what I'm saying? We have the word knowledge, we have the arithmetic knowledge, we have the math knowledge. So group all of those things like that. But they in each section they're giving you four questions each. That's for the practice test. So I scored a total of 66. But while I was doing the practice test, as someone who was smart, the first thing you do is to study the pattern of questions, the kind of questions that they give you. Especially me, I love math, so I studied the pattern. As soon as I saw that, oh, there are some topics here that are really what that you could see that occur frequently, like repeat itself. So you put that down in your head because you don't have time to write it down. You put that down in your head. After you're done with everything that you go home, I'll bet you go home and practice on those all those areas, all those things that you saw that you didn't know that you go home and practice because those things form the core of your PiCAT. I want to talk about PiCAT because that's what most of us will be doing at the recruiter's office. So yeah. So then they'll set a date for you to come do your come take the test itself, which is the PiCAT test. Or so you set a date for you. So if you're taking yours at MEPS, it's gonna be Asvab. If you feel me. So that was what I did. That's what worked. That's what worked for me. I'm sure it's gonna work for other people. So what I did was I took the practice test and I looked at the screen very well and I answered all my questions. So my aim was just to watch the pattern of how the questions are being said. Because I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I took my ASVAB. I took my ASVAB and I got 56. Oh, thank God. I took my days and I got 34. Oh, thank God." And I was like, bro, I was kind of like a little bit nervous. I'm never nervous of exams because I've faced so many exams in my life, you know what I'm saying? So, but this time I was a little bit nervous because I was like, how hard it is because I see people talking about low scores like 56, although they said for my own branch is 31. So 31 is like the minimum you should score to be able to get into it. You get what I'm saying? For other branches it could be more. So I'm talking about my branch now of the military. So yeah, so I was like really like, what should I do? How can I go about it? And the next thing I did was go there, pick my practice test, and then boom, in the I made sure that um yeah, I made sure that everything I needed to do, I did it. So when after I took my practice test and I had some of the topics that I saw in my head, so I knew that okay, there's some areas where I need to like focus more on. And I knew my weaknesses, so I focused more on my strengths. So I've talked about two things. First, get the topics that you saw that repeat itself more often, and especially if you didn't know about it at all. So get those topics down in your head while you're taking your practice, and then after that, make sure you focus on your strength. So your strength could be, let's say, word knowledge, let's say math, let's say science. You know what I'm saying? Focus on your strength. Make sure that that area of your strength, you kill it. As when I mean kill it, I mean like out of 10 questions, you score the least you can score is 9 out of 10. Make sure you kill it like that. You know what I'm saying? So I focus more on my area of strength, which is math. I really love math a lot. So I focus on that area. I zoom myself in both the arithmetic knowledge and math knowledge. I knew that plus give or take, I can score nothing less than 9 out of 10 if it's by about 15 questions each. So I can score less than a 14 out of 15. You get what I'm saying? Or if I don't score 15 out of 15, the least I can score is 14 out of 15. So that will help you boost your score in some areas real good. You get what I'm saying? So when I went in for my PiCAT, after the practice test, I set a date for me for my PiCAT. That's to take the real test now. Remember, practice test is not it. That one is just for you to get yourself familiar with how it is done. But the PiCAT is the real thing. So I went there on that day. Funny enough, I tried my best. Other than the first day I came back from the recruiting office and then looked into one or two things. I never had the chance to really sit down and study, or because I was always busy with work and coming home and everything like that. So I decided to make sure that that little thing that I that little 5 minutes I looked at one or two things. I really made sure I looked at it carefully and I practiced a little bit. Like that was all. So the day of my ASVAB, Yeah, I didn't practice nothing. Just went straight to the recruiter's office, and they just sat me down in front of this computer and told me like, okay, yeah, God bless you. Time starts now. And I thought it was just a few questions. So here is where the deal is. So when you're taking your practice test, I think it's about 4 or 5, but you know. But when you get to your when you're taking the real test, it's about 10 sections, 10 different sections, like math knowledge, word knowledge, arithmetic knowledge, and it's a um, it's a lot like that. It's about 11. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, it's about 11 lined up, 15 questions each. I'm telling you, so it's a lot. So it's not go when you're going there. Make sure that take break. Make sure you eat breakfast. I didn't eat, so it was like too much for me. But I still make sure that because you gotta sit back, use your brain to do things, study. Make sure that you think hard. Don't just go there and pick anything. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, I'm gonna come into that later. So it's about 11 sections, and then you gotta finish everything. So I was there, concentrated, solving. You need to see the papers around me. I was solving things, bro. And their math is. Let me start with the arithmetic knowledge. It's really funny. They are simple questions, but really that not they're tricky questions. Tricky, simple questions. They are simple questions, but they're tricky in the way that in the sense that you read and you think they mean this thing, but they don't really mean that. They mean something else. But you gotta be somebody who's like really, really smart and able to, how they call it, dissect problems. They'll break it down into little pieces and find what they really want, and then you just do it, and then boom, as easy as that. So the math and the arithmetic place knowledge was just too easy for me because I like, bro, this one is just, you know what I'm saying? I've done this all my life, so yeah. So probably I will make a video where I'm teaching you guys all of those. I have still have some questions in my head. I might teach you guys just arithmetic and especially the math anyway. I think the arithmetic too is very tricky, but it's not very I'm just saying very tricky. Yes, to somebody who's not good with math, like that's gonna be very tricky for you. But if you're good with math, that's very easy and funny because you'll be looking at it like, well, what the f is this? I already know what this is. You know what I'm saying? So um just I sat back, did all of it, and then boom, then I went to MEPS to verify. But that's not what I want to say. So my major aim is that how do you pass your ASVAB, which is what I've given you guys two important clues on how to pass your ASVAB. Number one, when you're taking your practice test, don't just do practice test and be concerned about your scores. Your practice test is for you to know the areas where they really, really will want to, like, cut your head with, So when it comes to the math problem especially, just make sure you focus on factorization. I'm giving some things away now. Factorization is very, 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 very important. So if you're somebody who don't know how to factorize equation, then I think you're gonna miss a lot of questions there. So because a lot of questions are under factorization, like the x squared minus 11x plus, let's say, to, like, you know what I'm saying, like this kind of quadratic equation, but you use factorization method, which is short and simple. um you're gonna need that. Then when it comes to the word problem, you just need a little bit of proportion. If you know how to do proportion, direct and indirect proportion, fractions, that fractions really, really well. And then for the math knowledge, you must also know what do you call it, your slope and coordinates, and these are basic things anyways. And then they give you questions on perimeter and give you perimeter questions, questions on area of a surface, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, these are the few basic things I can remember. So make sure that when you are looking into it, that might not be your problem. This I don't want to mention a lot. That might not be the area of your own concern. So the major thing you should pick out of this video is that when you're taking your practice test, those areas that you're not really, really good at, make sure you're looking at it and like, oh, okay, this area. When I get home, I'm gonna go focus on this area. I'm gonna go focus on this area. But then do not forget to make sure that the area of your strength, you make sure that it is really your strength, not an average performance on those areas. Those areas, you should kill it. When you're able to kill those areas, and then the other areas, you know you do your best. You're always gonna pass for sure. So just so you know, but after I finished my PiCAT, I scored a total of 86. So I didn't get 66 that I got before on my practice test. I scored 86, and I moved from there straight to. I didn't wait one more day, one more hour. I just moved um from my recruiting office straight to MEPS. When I got to MEPS, I told them what I came to verify, and they just put me boom into the house where everybody else was taking their Asvab. I did my own. I called them out like, "Hey, I'm only." He said, "No, yeah, you got to do everything because you're verifying. You got to do everything." So I did from part one again to maybe part 11 this time around. You know what I'm saying? There was 10. It's like 11, but here it has a lot of questions. Some sections at one particular section I won't forget. It's not like it's not math. It's not. It's just to ask about your meant like psychological, but like he had about 176 questions. So when you're going, prepare yourself. Don't just go there and just go thinking it's just three questions. The first, I remember that the first part was 30 questions, 45 minutes to do 30 questions, math, what problem, everything mixed together. So you have to like make sure that whatever you're answering at your recruiter office, you pay attention, because you don't want to see those questions and start solving all over again. Make sure you already solved it and got the right answer. So when you see it, you just click the answer and move to the next one. That's what I did. And I answered that session in 15 minutes because um I already know about 80% of the questions in there, but they still added some new things, but not a lot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that made it so easy for me. Um yeah, so that is it. That's how to pass this ASVAB. So some people will come and tell you, oh, pass ASVAB once, do this and that and that. It's great. All you need is 31. That's what people say from my own branch of the military. But you don't want to score 31. Do you know why? Because with 31, the jobs that will be offered to you will be limited. But at my own score, I scored 86. I could almost do anything. So all the jobs available was available to me. So I had to like, they asked me, what do you want? That was the question. They didn't tell me, hey, these are the jobs available for your score. No. My own question was, what do you want to do? So I could really literally choose anything. I could literally have chosen anything. So that you want that to be your own story. So make sure that you follow this video very like with the mind. Don't forget about all the other things they're posting online. That's not where you're going to. The practice test, I'm still emphasizing on that. That practice test you're taking at your recruiter's office, do not play. Make sure you look at the pattern carefully. When you go get home, it's not about the scores you get, but you want to try your best and score good so that your recruiter can have faith in you. You know what I'm saying? So don't just go there and say, oh, because he said I should just concentrate, so let me just look at it. That's all I gotta do. No, give it your best shot. Just imagine that it's your exam for sure. Give it your best shot, but at the same time, watch carefully those areas where you will see some strange things that you don't really know. When you get home, you go look at those areas very well. For me, well, I've forgotten a little bit about factorization because for a long time I really haven't done it. So I was like, factorization, damn. Now I went back home and I looked at it 2 minutes and I was like, done. Like, hey, bro, I know these things, right, man? So when I got there, the real exam had a lot of those factorizations, so I just killed everything easy. You know what I'm saying? And if you have any areas in math that if you've taken your ASVAB before, let me start from there. Please put down your scores down below. Put down any advice you have for other people to also read on. If tell us your ASVAB scores. Like mine, I told you mine was I scored 86. I probably could have done more, but I was just exhausted because it took so long. I thought it was just gonna be few questions, but no, I thought it was gonna be few sections, but because it was 10, at some point I got tired because I didn't eat that morning. So my head was already banging. I was already tired. So I just the last part I just picked anything, to be honest with you. So that's what I did. Which was not great. I probably would score like 90 something if I had, if I had a video like this that told me exactly. People just tell you, oh, what do you want to pass, do this and that. No, you don't need to do this and that. Just practice those areas that you think you have issues. Practice on it, and the only thing that can give you a clear view to what you want to do is the practice test. But nevertheless, If you feel that the practice test will take too long before you get into it, there are some books you could get. Like someone recommended Asvab for Dummies for me. If you go on your app store, you can see Asvab for Dummies. You just gotta pay $15 for like a month or so, or $20 for a month to practice tons of questions. You know what I'm saying? And there are also Asvab practice tests also on your app store. When you download it, you probably will pay like $22 for a whole month. You can practice. You have access to tons of questions. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to do that because I just felt like, wow, I don't want to sit back answering too many questions. Then my head do poof. Besides, probably I could have done it, but my job didn't give me the time to. So don't be like me. Practice. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like me. I want you to score at least a 90, at least a 71. When I got to the place on the day where we're supposed to, like, we're sitting down, like, I will share that later. Anyways, I met a lot of people there after my exam. I told them, hey, what's your score? Somebody's there said he scored 40, 40, 43, 45, what, 40, 30, 40. I'm like, what? How did people even score 40? Like, that's crazy. It was not even that. The least I think I can score is probably like that 66 that I think I scored in my practice test. I never saw myself scoring like anything below there, like, because it's easy. But that's what you will say when you know it. But if you don't know it, that's like, oh, it could be really tricky because it's not like it's not set in the way that it's just straightforward. You gotta think clearly to be able to get each answer. So yeah, so that was my story, and that was how I passed my ASVAB. So I'm sharing it with you now, so you can get first hand on how to pass your own ASVAB. Don't sit back, relax, fold your arms, and think it's easy. So for those of you who don't have long time, don't know how to sit back and learn for hours, you don't need to do that. Just take 5 minutes out of your day, or make it 10, make it 10, because just take 10 minutes. Focus on one area. For example, I want to focus on math. So what areas do I focus on? That's what I'm telling you. When it comes to factorization, when it comes to slope, coordinates, surface area, perimeter of shapes. You get what I'm saying? Circumference of a circle. You see, the basic things like that. Go study it. When it comes to arithmetic knowledge, what do I need? Reasoning. You need to have the ability to reason. And then what do I look at? Proportion, direct and inverse proportion, fractions. Look into that. You should be good. You know what I'm saying? You should be good. And then the science part, you gotta read. You know that already. And then the word knowledge is just basically the use of vocabularies. Like for vocabularies, like it asks you that's a nearest in meaning. They could ask you like mm, let me see, what could I use for example? The word identical could see it could A, similar, B, evident, C, proficient. You could I see that it's so easy. Identical is same thing as similar, so you just pick that. See, so you gotta practice that as well. So I'm giving you clues. This video is so long; it's already almost 30 minutes. So I'm gonna end it right here. And the next video is gonna be very, very important. So whatever you think I'm missing out on this video, just let me know. I'm gonna put it in my next video. But my next video is gonna be talking about I'm gonna be talking about your time at MEPS. Your time at MEPS is gonna be the key area where we're gonna be addressing. Okay. So until then, see you guys next time, and be blessed.